It's RKA coming at you live today. Woo! It's the fourth Facebook Live I've been doing for you folks, and I'm having a blast, but I gotta tell you, my heart is beating so fast right now, and I am for real about this. I'm nervous. I am stressed about today's topic because I'm talking about something that you're not supposed to talk bad about. Everybody loves this. Everybody's focused on this. When it comes to online marketing, this is the thing that is on people's minds. And so the fact that I'm going to be talking bad about it behind its back today, it's got my heart beating super fast. But I'm going with it, guys. I'm going with it, and I'm just going to let the adrenaline move me forward. And over the last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about distractions in your businesses, the ways that things like the website, for example, can distract business owners from doing the work that they really need to be doing to be pushing their business forward, to be reaching more of the right clients, to be refining and honing their crafts. And yeah, we talked, a few weeks back, we talked about, is your website standing in your way? Is your website actually getting in the way of you making money? And how in so many cases it's not, but people still use it as this distraction so they don't actually have to do the hard work of making their clients' lives better. And that's what we're really talking about today. We're talking about distractions. We're talking about another huge, mega, massive distraction that is dangerous. Because we talked about just the ways that these dangerous kind of myths and focuses in the online business world, how they can be dangerous because they get us all wrapped up over here. So we're doing this instead of the actual business building work that we need to be doing. And okay, I've done enough stalling here because I'm so afraid to besmirch the name of, what am I talking about today? List building, folks. I'm talking about your list. I'm talking about email marketing, and I'm talking about the dangerous ways that email marketing distracts people and grabs their attention and even brings people's businesses down because they're so darn focused on the list that they're not doing the things they need to do to build their business. And because I have this wonderful privilege of being able to sit in the web design and digital strategist seat, I see so many clients and I see so many businesses. I get to really dig deep with them into the relationships that they're building with their clients and the actions they want their clients to take on their website. One of the first questions that I ask clients, before we even work together, is what do you want people to do on your website? And so often, 9 times out of 10, I see people, especially when they're first coming in the door looking for a new website, what are people saying? I want to build my list. I want to get people on my list. I want to get people on my newsletter. And in the early days of running my business, before I had really kind of settled into my strategist kind of self, and I was just letting the clients kind of guide the process a little bit more, when someone came through my doors and they said, I want to build my list, I'm like, great, let's do it. Come on, let's go. And no questions asked. Because I assumed that because they had expressed this as one of their goals, that they had done the work to, behind it. They had done their research. They had built up a plan, a strategy. They knew exactly how they wanted to engage their clients through their list. And, I was going to help them do it by building the website to kind of initiate that relationship. But the more time went on and the more clients I worked with and the more I kind of sat and stepped into the strategist seat, the strategist part of my work, the more I realized, oh man, people weren't mapping out a list building strategy at all. They were committing a bunch of mistakes that were dooming their businesses and bringing them down and distracting them from the most important thing. And over the years, I've started to see this in kind of a series of steps. This happens in steps for people. And so I'm coming at you today to talk about, how do you know if your list is actually distracting you from what you really need to be getting done in your business, or if it's actually helping you in your business. And I've got some warning signs for you folks to tell if you're in that cycle of being uber focused on your list and your list kind of slowly but surely bringing you down with it. So, all right, let's just hit the ground running here, folks. Off the bat, step one, the first way that I see clients and their list kind of bringing down their businesses is They're doing it because they have to. That's why. You know, when we kind of dig into, okay, so you want to build a list on your website, for example, you've got this, you've got this project in mind, you want to build a list on your website. Why do you want to do that? When we dig into that, the answer inevitably comes back, well, isn't that what I should be doing? Isn't that what you do in online business? You just like collect people's emails and then one day magically like gold rains down from the heavens. Isn't that kind of how it works? You just like get enough numbers that you press send on anything and people are like, please take my money. Isn't that how it works? I just should be doing this, right? I mean, my friend Peggy's doing it. My coach does it. My coach tells me to do it. I see it on my news feed. I see it on social media. I hear it on webinars. I read it on blogs. Shouldn't I be building a list? And so that's it. I mean, that is the number one warning sign. If you're building a list, if you're collecting people's emails and hoping to engage with them via email marketing and you're doing it because you have to, stop. Stop now, because that's a red flag for you being on the brink of spending a ton of time, a ton of money, a ton of energy to get no results and potentially even destroy your business's reputation in the process. So number one, are you building a list because you have to, because your friend said, because your coach is pressuring you, because you read it on a blog, because you want to get a certain kind of ambiguous result that you've heard that people get when they build a huge list? Is that what's driving you? Because that's a warning sign for your list bringing you down. That it's dangerous, guys. It's dangerous. It just starts so innocently enough, because with it, I kind of like to call it like the diet pills of the online marketing industry. There's many products and services out there to help people build up their list quick, fast. Got to do it. Got to build that list. Got to get those emails. Got to get those numbers up, and skip over any of the hard work, which I'm going to get into a second. So, okay, step one is we've got all these seductive things telling us build a list, you got to have a list, you need to have a list, and we're listening to it, and we're building a list for the sake of it, because maybe it's going to help us one day. So that's step one. What happens next? So you're doing it. You're making a newsletter or whatever you want to call it. You're doing an email blast. You're like begrudgingly forcing yourself through the paces of communicating with this list you're building, because that's what you got to do, and you're not getting any damn results. So you're writing the stuff. You're like, all right, okay, I got to create a newsletter this week. Here, let me see. What do I have in my sofa that I can pull out? What do I have lying around here? Cool. This looks good. I'll throw this at them. I mean, and so you're just kind of begrudgingly, resentfully, I got to do this, putting together these email interactions with people and focusing on your freebie. How do you get people in the door? And you're doing that, and you're not getting any damn results. And so when you're originally coming at it with a ton of resentment, well, then this just ups your resentment, because you're doing it. You're doing what you should do. You're doing what your coach told you to. You're doing what the blogger wrote about. You're building your damn list. You're sending those damn emails, and nobody's biting. So this is the step two. So this is where you're, okay, listen, step one is just you're doing it because you have to. Step two is you're doing it because you have to. You're not getting the results you want, and you're pissed about it. You're pissed. You're like, this must be MailChimp. It's probably MailChimp isn't delivering my messages. That's probably what it is. They say they're delivering them, but they're not. So, you start conspiracy theorizing. You're like, maybe it's Gmail. Maybe it's my email provider. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's my maybe it's my web designer. I'm going to call up RKA. I'm going to say, hey, I'm not really getting, any leads from my list. Is this maybe something because of like the website is broken? And let me just tell you right now, save yourself a phone call. Your website isn't broken. So you're not getting the results you want. You're conspiracy theorizing that it could be any number of things. It's an inside job. The call is coming from inside the house. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense at all. But anyway, you're all worked up. You're worked up enough to think that was a good idea to say out loud. So you're all worked up. You're not getting results. You're resentful of your list. And then people can feel the resentment. So because you're coming at writing your emails and your communications with the list that you're trying to build, you're coming at it with an anger, a bitterness. It's almost like calling someone up on the phone and they answer and they're like, hello, and you're like, hey, I'm here. It's like, well, hello, you called me. You know, like, sorry for you emailing me right now, but your people can feel it. Your people can feel how much you don't want to be in their inbox right now, how you're doing it begrudgingly. And they're kind of just like, I'm sorry for existing. You're literally emailing me right now. So people can start feeling your resentment. And I got to tell you, there's nothing worse than that. There's literally nothing worse than being, well, yes, there's actually many things worse, but talking about kind of online marketing sins. One huge sin is showing up in people's inboxes and then being angry at them for reading the message. And that's what comes across when you're doing your list because you think you should, and you're doing it with the list kind of first attitude of, okay, what can I throw in here for these freaking people today? You're coming at it with this resentful energy. Your people can feel the resentful energy. And so what happens next? You've reached this kind of fever pitch where you're doing it begrudgingly, you're following the formulas, you're doing the programs that people said, you're doing it the way that coach told you to do it. It's not working. It's making you even more resentful. And, before you know it, you've poured all this time and energy into trying to build up a list, and you're still not getting the results that you crave. The results that when you do look around you and you do listen to those marketers and those bloggers and the people on the street corner being like, you got to have a list because it's going to rain pennies from heaven. When you're listening to all of them, then you lose your train of thought. That's exactly what happens, actually. You'll be in the middle of a Facebook Live talking about something, and then you'll just lose your train of thought. No, I'm kidding. But just trying to save face here. But, okay, you've done all of this work. You're not getting the results everybody says that you should be getting. And it's kind of, you're disappointed. And so what do I see people do in this case? What do? They double down. This is step 3. They double down. They do another list building challenge. They take another person's course about how to build your list. They hire another coach who's going to help them maybe get better numbers. Oh yes, it's not been enough rejection yet because they followed kind of the voice of the magic diet pill kind of mentality of just do this thing and you can build this amazing list. And they've got to be just missing one last thing. So they double down, which is like, okay, you're gone. And the cycle continues. It's a vicious cycle, and it leads to people being depleted. It leads to a reduced confidence, and it leads basically to you being so focused, so distracted on building this list for the sake of it, that you're not focused on how do I make my clients' lives better. And here's the thing about that, folks, is that is literally the only thing that matters when you are entering somebody's email box, when you are entering their newsfeed, when you are creating something to kind of deliver to your people, whether it's an email, whether it's a blog, whether it's a status update, whether it's a video like I'm doing right now. And you're not coming from a place of, how can I make my clients' lives better? You are dooming yourself to fail. And basically, if you have any other reason for being in front of people, stop now. Because you are going to waste so much time, so much energy, so much money, taking this magic diet pill. And I mean, hey, sometimes, you will have a product or service that says we can get you X many people on your list or X many whatever. We can help you kind of superficially enhance your list if you follow this or that step. And sometimes those can work on a temporary basis. Like they can work. They can help you kind of get a big influx of people on your list really quick. But guess what happens then? You've got all these people, once you've run to the end of the formula, once you've done all the steps, once you've, exhausted all the things in this kind of pre-created, microwavable list results process, you're left with a list of people that you have absolutely no relationship with. And once you've done all the steps in the formula, and once you've followed all the directions of the coach or whatever your program you're taking, you have no freaking clue what to say to these people. And so you've just spent probably a lot of money, probably a lot of time, probably a lot of energy to create a list that is almost like valueless to you in the long run, right? You've got a list you have no idea how to communicate with because you've stepped over, you've taken the diet pill and skipped over. And yeah, this is what leads me to, what am I saying here? Like if you're, and what I'm saying is, if you're approaching marketing, whether it's as a small business owner, whether it's your list, whether it's your website, whether it's your blog, whatever it might be, with this is what I have to do, spirit and energy, you've got to stop now. Because you're not only will you spend a ton of money and time and energy on this, but you're wasting time that you could be actually doing the things that are going to push you forward. And it really goes back to what I was saying before. I know it seems super simple, but it really is the crux of everything is, how are you making your clients' lives better today? When they open up that email from you, or when they click on that blog, or whatever it might be, when they open up this video, how are you making their lives, their day, this moment better? How are you enriching their lives? That's really the ultimate goal. And if you're coming from that approach, here's what I was saying before about the thing that isn't so sexy, the thing that's not fun to say because it flies in the face of all these magic diet pill solutions out there. This is a slow process. The diet pill approach to list building is like, build a list in as little time as possible and you too can make a bunch of money. That's the approach there. And the approach that I'm advocating is the slow and steady, slow branding from my friend Alice Carolina Smith of Collabora Collective that I was just talking about a few weeks ago. Slow branding. It is a marathon, folks. It's not a sprint. And this means, relationship building, which really is the goal, does take time. It does take energy. And so what I'm advocating here is an intentional approach to your marketing. Intentionally building relationship with people. Instead of just throwing a list into your strategy, having it come from a true place of wanting to improve their lives and knowing what content is going to improve their lives. Having built the relationship up until that point with your client, knowing what they need, knowing what problems they need you to solve, and when your list or your blog or your webinars or your videos are coming from that place, that's when you're going to see results. Anything else is a waste of your time, a waste of your money, and potentially bringing your business down with it. And you know what, folks? That's all I got for you today. Just a little ranting, just some mild ranting, and a little bit of controversial list bashing, because it's not the be-all and end-all, folks. It isn't. The be-all and end-all at the end of the day is, as a small business owner, how can you make your clients' lives better today? And how can you create content and marketing that shows people how you can improve their lives and actually does it. And that's the journey we're all on, because there's no quick fix solution for that. But you know what? There's so many future lives that we can have. So Wednesday is the time. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Talk to you later, folks.